All right, we are going to do a torture test of the Cyelee Ghost. I just recently reviewed it. I'll put up a link in the description to that review video if you'd like to check it out. But we're going to beat this one up and do a real torture test with it and see if it survives. So for all the details and such, again, check out the review video. This has different reticles. They got these raised bars here that'll protect her pretty well there, and they're extended out from the glass, so it'll protect you from hitting that way and this way and all that. So, and multi-reticle, if I didn't already say it. I'm not worried about, again, check out the review video if you want to get good, like, focused images of what the reticle looks like and all that, the different reticles. But let's get started. This feels so wrong to be to be doing this. I'm gonna mount it up on the pistol too, and be dropping it on some hard crap like this. As they said, it'll supposed to be able to survive a 6-foot drop with like a 45-ounce pistol or something like that. So still on there, no doubt. Oh, I missed the brick. Yeet. Man, I gotta make sure I don't lose it in the grass. I can't do the review if I lose it. I'm gonna walk out here in the driveway over some gravel and throw it up pretty high there. Yep, still on, still working. All right, I'm going out here in the gravel. It hit a freaking rock. I'm pretty sure that's way worse than anything it's going to endure if you run, trip, and fall with it. So far, the body's holding up pretty good. It's, I mean, yeah, it's scratched up. Of course, you would expect that, but, I don't see any, like, major damage or anything. Just a few scratches here and there. Let me chuck this sucker out there. Try to hit it. See how bad my aim is. Ah, yep, hit the grass. I gotta try that again. Redemption time. Oh, I threw it higher that time. Almost got the gravel. Third time's the charm. All right, you guys can go ahead and rag me in the comments for missing the driveway 3 times in a row. Gotta make it this time. There we go. And it sounds and looks like it smacked right into a big rock. Let's see what the damage is. I suppose if you hit a pointy enough rock and got it wedged in there just right, it might be able to crack the glass. I just smacked one of those rocks real hard. And that's like a, I don't know, 25-foot throw. It's still on. And it looks like, nope, that's wiping right off. We got a chunk there. That might have been where it hit the rock. I mean, I just chucked that thing like 30, 40 miles an hour, 25, 30 feet there. This feels so wrong. I'm loving it though. All right, let's get it mounted up on the pistol and get some weight on it and get some drops. I knew there was something I was forgetting. At the house, I'm like, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? I went over it in my head. I'm like, no, I got everything. And then all the way here, what did I forget? No, I got everything. My freaking mount for the optic replaces the rear sight. Because it was that or throw it on the 22, which isn't very heavy. I want to put it on the heavy 9. So So this video may reconvene in a different location. Now I'm going to put it in the freezer. As you can see, it's on there. And so that you guys know it's cold enough. So not only are we submerged in water there, clearly. You can see it glowing red. But when ice forms over the top, then we know that it's definitely been in here long enough to be frozen. I'll probably let it get pretty thick, but I don't want it to freeze solid because then it'll compress and it could, you know, compress the buttons, push against the glass, anything like that. I don't want to do anything like that. So, but there you go. It's covered in water. It'll be so for several hours until this freezes, and check back in a few hours once it's got a layer of ice over it. All right, well, I lost track of how long this thing's been in here, still glowing. I looked at it once, I don't know, probably over an hour ago. It had a very thin layer of ice on top. And I tipped it to see if this would slide, and that's how these air bubbles got in here. Because it basically like sucked it from the side when I tipped it. So it's like it's starting to freeze at the bottom there because the optic is not sliding. So, but as you can see, it's still illuminated. So it's still working. It's been in the water there for several hours. Yeah, it's like it was frozen to the bottom. It had his ice on it. Yeah, it was starting to freeze to the bottom. But still works. And mind you, that's after I tossed it up in the air and across that driveway over and over and over. You know, potentially if anything was going to open up from the abuse and then let water get in, it would have there, but it did not. So, I mean, it might be a little hard to show you, but there you can see some of the scratches right there. Just so you don't think, oh, well, you just edited it that way and you actually froze it first. No, so you can see all the scratches on the paint there. Wish I had better lighting in here. It's kind of hard because this thing's glistening white, but what was it? Yeah, like that's where one of the big chunks is. Right there, that big silver spot from smashing it into those big rocks in the driveway. So this is after I threw this thing in the driveway over and over and over again, and it still didn't, you know, open up and expose any you know, pathways or anything like that for water to get in. It's a little hard to show on camera one-handed, but the buttons are still responding as well. Should be able to hear them clicking. You see that red go out there? So it is dimming it as well. Now we'll turn it back up. And there you can see it get bright again. And I guess we'll check, make sure it turns off. What happened? I think I turned it down on accident. It's hard to do this one-handed while it's slippery wet. Where are we at? All right, press and hold. Turn off. There we go. Okay, it's off. Now we'll turn it back on. Trying to get it to where you guys can kind of see it. Anyways, I'm clicking it back on now. There we go. And there's on. So the buttons still respond as well. Alright, here we are down on the pistol bay. Got her mounted up last night after the whole freezer fiasco. So there she is there. It's going to look a little weird, a little oversized on this subcompact here. I mean, not too bad, but these, in my opinion at least, are better suited for a compact or a full size, not a subcompact. But anyways, that's what I'm using for the test, because I'm going to be dropping it on the pistol now, so what better to use than a $200 Taurus. So there you can see she's mounted up. It is the same one. You can see all the damage there still, same spot. Of course, that chip on the bottom, that's where that was. So it's the same optic. We're going to do that a few more times. Oh, and it is on. And there's the dot. I can see it. There you go. You guys can see it now. Again, if you want to see how nice and crisp that actually looks, check out the actual review video of this optic. I have a lot better still frames and such of what you're actually looking at there. But I gotta get this thing zeroed now, and I'm basically just gonna put that was empty, by the way. I meant to show that before I started. She is empty. You can see my chamber indicator there is down, and it does have a slot. Don't know if you guys can see it, but even with this adapter plate, it allows it to be risen when there is one in the chamber. Plus the mag's empty. I wouldn't drop it loaded just for safety concerns. Anyways, I got to get it like zeroed out here, and once it's zeroed, I'm just gonna hit that silhouette out there and then smash it on the rocks and the table, and then hit the silhouette and then do it again. Make sure it holds zero, I guess. I mean, the test is that it's going to keep working and it's not going to break. But I would like to know, as I'm sure you guys are as well, that it can at least maintain a combat zero after dropping it several times as well, so you can still hit the bad guy. Forgot my target, so I'm just aiming at this little green piece of trash back here at 20 yards to get this thing zeroed. And it flipped on us there, so it is now a white piece of trash. Alright, so it looked like it was just consistently off to the right a little bit. I got the safety on here. See, it's flipped up. So I'm just going to give it a few clicks to the left, and then we should be good to go. Well, those are all hits, but that guy doesn't ding and swing like my gong does. I might, let me bring my gong down here. That way there's no question for you guys, even though I know I hit it every time. And that is 15 yards, by the way. So the average self-defense scenario is, it usually winds up being 21 feet or 7 yards. So with that being 15, 16 yards back there, that was slightly over twice the distance that you actually generally on average have to use your self-defense pistol, and had no problem hitting that. All right, there's the gong there at about 10 yards. Drop her a few more times here, see if I can get it to hit that chunk of concrete there. Asphalt, whatever it is. Still empty. I think I jacked up my gun. Didn't want to release the mag for a sec. Anyways, we're empty. Yeah, it messed up my gun. Well, that's what she's looking like so far. So my gun's screwed up, but the optic still seems to be okay. I mean, obviously it's getting some scratches on it and such, but Big chunk right there. But I bet you it still works. I mean, it is still illuminated there. Yeah, my mag didn't want to release, but I can actually see visually. Uh-oh. I'm breaking the gun and not the optic. Hang on, I gotta try to get this thing open. For those of you with the eagle eye, the safety was on. That's why I couldn't rack the slide. But yeah, my slide release lever is definitely sticking on me now. It's bent or something from dropping it. Doesn't want to work too good now. All right, let's try 2 more. Well, I just got partial mags for dropping it, but without any cuts in the video here. Go drop it again. Trying to do all this without any cuts in the film and all that, even though, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but let's go drop it again. There's definitely a few direct impacts there. Ah, my safety keeps flicking on. That's my fault trying to lean on the table there and get you guys in frame. So I'm gonna spin you back around here, that way I don't have to do that. My gun's jacked up, but the optic ain't.
Going for that piece of trash back there at 20 yards again, just to see, make sure that it's still close to zeroed. And mind you, that's only like a 2 or 3 inch target back there at 20 yards freehand. And with a $200 Taurus that's been dropped on concrete 10 times.
Well, I think that proves it did not lose zero whatsoever. Obviously, I couldn't be making those shots if it wasn't still on, but there you go. It's still on, and it held zero after all that crap. And so unfortunately, my gun's jacked up now, and maybe I'll be able to, I think that, yeah, it just bent that slide release, slide lock in there a little bit, I think. So hopefully I can just bend that back out and my gun will run like it did again. So yeah, maybe don't take a Taurus G2 in the battle, but the Cyelee optic is good to go. So, and I think a lot of this is probably powder. Let me wipe that down. I mean, obviously she's pretty beat up at this point. I'm 5'9", so that's why I was making sure to hold that over my head a little bit, dropping it on that concrete, asphalt, whatever it is, to make sure I gave it that full 6-foot drop that they rate it for. So, you know, we do got some scratches and chips missing, as to be expected. The glass is good, it's not broken. The laser's still on. Where'd it go? There we go. And it maintained zero after all that. The only thing that happened was it screwed up the Taurus a little bit. And just to verify that the buttons still work, so it's all the way up. I'll turn it down. Yep, down works. Up works. Again, watch the review video linked in the description if you want to see just how nice and fine that crisp that dot actually is. Because I'm not getting a focus right now. Go ahead and change reticle, which might be hard for you guys to see, but I'll make sure that works now.
okay. You should have saw the little blip there, even though it's not focused. So it is changing reticles as well. Go ahead and hold it down again, change it to the next one. Yep, now I got a dot in the center of that circle ring there, which when you're actually using the firearm, it appears larger. You can see a little, there you go, kind of like that. Probably a little bit bigger in person. Again, you'd have to watch the review video to see what it really looks like, because it's real hard to get a focus on these through the camera. And then one last time, change it back to just the 2 MOA dot, I believe it is. Press and hold. Did it switch? Yeah, okay, I didn't see it through the camera, but it switched. Now we're on the singular dot again. And one more time, off. And it's off. So not only does it still work, the controls still work, and it maintains 0. So there you go, guys. What else could you ask for? Everything I put it through, it survived. Several hours of water, being underwater, you know, put it in the freezer for several hours to where it even froze to the bottom of the container, and had a layer of ice over the top of water. So she was definitely freezing temperatures there. I mean, you saw me previously throw it 30-40 miles an hour clear across the driveway, throw it up way above my head, let it come back down, dropped it 6 feet. Dropped it 6 feet over and over on this asphalt over here, and you know, other than cosmetic, which is to be expected, absolutely flawless. So to see more of their optics that I've reviewed, check out the parts, accessories, and optics playlist on the channel. Again, I'll have a link in the description to the review video of this, not the torture test that we just did. Also, link in the description if you want to actually go check this out on a storefront. If you want to get yourself any of the other products you see me use in the video, like my safety glasses, earmuffs, steel target I use, paper targets, target stand, and more, links in the description for all of that. But thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.